Alright, it says live. Let's go in DCS, show the map, and then we'll wait a few seconds and go back to see if everything really is live. Believe it is. Oops, this one, yes. Let's go back to DCS. Alright, so my idea here is just to do a little comparison of the Mirage F1 and the Mig-21, which are two planes I recently acquired and I'm still sort of learning how to operate. And I've learned how to do basic air-to-air and basic air-to-ground with rockets with both types. And I figured, hey, why not make a little bit of a mission which is not too complicated, where I can test one versus the other, see if they are fairly equal, if one's better than the other. And so I've done the missions in practice just to see if everything worked well, and so I'm going to be doing this here as part of a live. Here you'll see that the first plane I have is the Mirage, and so I'm simulating it being from Lybia, because I know that Lybia had Mirages and Mig-21s. Probably I don't have the right version. I put the EE because I prefer that one. But I do have like 2 magic air-to-air missiles on this one, plus 4 rocket pods. Now when we compare that to the Mig-21 later on, you'll see that the Mig-21 can actually carry, let's say, 2 rocket pods on the inside, but 4 air-to-air missiles on the outside. Now I debated should I put like inboard radar missiles on the F1, or should I go with more rockets? I decided to go with more rockets because the aiming method on the F1 is not the easiest one, and so we'll start with that. We'll see how that works. Hopefully I'm going to be fairly accurate and get a few of the targets. So you'll see here there's the town of Magne, and I set a fire in the town and smoke near my target. It's going to be my visual references to travel there. I'm still not very comfortable navigating in both these aircraft, so I'm going to be doing VFR flying more or less. But it's pretty easy to navigate because there's this big valley here where the targets are located, so I can follow the valley to the south to the targets, spot the smoke, and then fly north, like roughly, to my final, and then land. And as you can see, the targets here are along a road. There are a few other vehicles around. This one I put there more or less as an observer, but these have like machine guns, dishkas. They're technicals. And there are 2 helicopters sort of flying around here, the target area. And so I'll start trying to target the air-to-air targets, and then I will do a ground attack run, and then the whole point is to fly back to Alcocer and land the plane, and hopefully everything goes well with that. So as I said, we'll start with the Mirage F1. Just go like this, and so there you go. You have a little bit of a description for the mission there. This, I will remove those labels. So as you can see here, it says your Libyan Mirage F1 is being sent to the position of rebel forces that have attacked Magne and retreated just north of the city. You should be able to spot Magne because of a large fire there, and the rebel position has a small fire emitting gray smoke. The rebels have helicopters, so take those out with magic 2s before you engage ground troops with your rockets. And so I have a few details here as well, but that's more or less the gist of it. So we'll try that. So let's get into the cockpit and start setting up our things. I kind of like to turn my lights off when I'm doing stuff that's tactical. And then we're going to need the master arm. Remove the protection there. Do this. Set my flaps for takeoff, and then this thing here, in one of the tutorial videos that I had watched, they recommended using 56 as the setting for it. there. Okay. And I'm going to be using my air-to-air first, so I'll set that up so that it's ready when I go do that. I like to narrow search on the radar. And there we go. One of the things I can see getting out of that hangar there is that the Mirage F1 is a little bit better at taxiing than the Mig-21 with its 2 settings for the nose wheel steering compared to the Mig-21, which uses differential braking to be able to turn. No real nose wheel steering to talk of. You use your brakes to turn, or your rudder. So let's get lined up. There we go. So this is the plane I'm working with. As I said, I'm going to turn off the labels. No cheating. And so there, let me just double check my cockpit and things. I think I'm good. And so we're going to spool up the engines and give it a go. Full afterburner. There we go. Going up. Gear going up. Flaps going up. Give it a bit of trim. And we'll start heading south. We're already at 400 knots. As I said, we have that sort of valley there that I can follow south. We've got that very large lake there behind us that's going to be useful for a visual reference when we land. There's this other small lake there, those hills that I'm going to use for my return. So all that is very good when you're just VFRing things. And in the distance there, right in the middle of my HUD, you can see that there's like 2 indications of smoke. So the large fire in the center there, it's the town of Magne, and the smaller smoke there that we see is the target area where I want to go. And in that same area, I'm going to be trying to spot some helicopters, which I would guess are probably flying fairly low. So I'm going to go at about 5,000 feet here and start looking for them. I do have an indication of something there. I think I'll reduce my range. There it is. There we go. We have a lock already. Oh, didn't last very long. Okay, got an indication there, and in the HUD we can see that red dot there. That's our first target. So I'm gonna try to go get that with the magic. Do I have my master arm? I do. I do have the exterior right selected. So now we'll hope for a tone and successful kill. Just gonna check my gun. There we go, it works. So for air-to-air, the Mirage has got the advantage with the radar for sure. Doesn't want to lock. I'm gonna go with guns. Guess I missed. Gonna set my air-to-air mode to the auto lock. Got one right there. Okay, it's working. Flex 2. Boom. Oh yeah. That's one down. Getting shot at, so I'll try to jink a little bit to ground fire. We can see down there, that's the column that we're going to try to hit later. Where is that other helicopter? Oh, got one there. Too. Oh, this guy has flares. Uh-oh, let's not crash into him. I think I'll have to go with guns with this because missile mists. Lost my visual on him. I did put some Hollywood special effects on the helicopters to make them a bit easier to shoot down, so a few bullet hits and they explode. Alright, so now the air-to-air is done, so we're going to be able to focus on our air-to-ground attack So I'll switch to the rockets. For the radar, I can leave it like that. Okay, so that's my smoke there. So I'm gonna make like a wide circle here to line up. Now, one of the things I forgot to do before takeoff was to set my proper barometric altitude for my rocket approach, so I'm gonna have to do a little mid-air stuff that I should have done on the ground, but we do have an autopilot. We're pretty high up, so it does change the values of the barometric pressure here. This is one of the things I hate about this wheel, is that it doesn't really move fast enough. I'm going to bring it to pretty much its lowest setting. According to my calculation, it should be at about 900, but I think the limit is like 905. You see how long this takes? That's why I usually do that on the ground. Okay, yeah, it seems to stop at 930. Alright, so autopilot off. The way that I've tried it before is to do a 10-degree dive and start shooting around 4,000 feet. I'm trying to line the targets up here, you know, that they're sort of there on the road. Let's try that. That was better than my last attempt, but I didn't get everything. Alright, so now I'm gonna go to the cannon. That was pretty horrible. Out of bullets, so that'll be that. Let's drop some flares as we move away. Yeehaw! Good idea to check your compass once in a while. I thought I was heading north, I was heading south, so I want to get to these mountains up there ahead of me. So how's the fuel? 2,000, I should be good with 2,000. Will give us a chance to look at the target area. Well, some are still intact, but some have been hit. Doesn't want anymore? Oh, okay. Going through the clouds. Maybe I have to be fairly stable like this. Maybe it's gonna work. No? Well, then I don't know. I'll have to read up on that. So yeah, on our approach we followed those mountains and then we headed to the target area there. And as I said, I wanted to follow those mountains to get back to the airfield. I'm gonna get below the clouds so that we can see the lakes I had talked about earlier. There we go. So this is that small lake, and that's the bigger lake, and the airfield is somewhere around here. In that area where the yellow pointer is. And so it's called the airfield, say that we're coming back. And as usual, it's going to take 2 attempts. Never wants to work on the first time.
Colt 1-1, inbound. Colt 1-1, flying 6080, 418, QSD 28.13, runway 28, to pattern altitude.
They want me to land on 28, but I'm gonna land in the same direction that I came in. I've only put 2 knots of wind, so I know that it won't be too bad. So let's reduce our speed, because right now we're at 400 and we're certainly not going to land at 400.
Colt 1-1, request navigation assistance.
See, our air brakes are out. We're at 300 knots. We're going to go first notch of flaps. Gonna start turning towards the field. That should slow us down to about 250. Let's get the gear down. And then we're going to disable the air to ground. Enable our flight path marker. Speed is good for second level of flaps. Let's try to make this fairly smooth. Fairly smooth, as I said. Get the parachute out. I'm gonna use some brakes. This thing doesn't want to stay straight on landing. Did an okay job. Let's get rid of that parachute. Let's get the flaps back up, the air brakes back in.
Code 1-1. Taxi to parking area.
And we're gonna go park in that little hangar there. I think we're in. Let's go check outside. Yeah, we're nicely hidden. And so now we can shut it down. So I have to say, like, the aiming method that I use, it's not super precise for the rockets. Maybe I could wait a little bit longer before launching them. We'll have to practice that some more. I think it was a video by Red Kite that explained some techniques to do it with the F1, which he did a bit better than I did. But yeah, it's definitely something to have to adjust your air pressure on the altimeter to get the proper settings for a ground attack. So now what I'll do, now that we've brought this one back, is we're gonna quit. Let's see that we probably did a few kills. Let's see the kills. So we've got our helicopters, the two of them there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 trucks and let's say 5 infantry. So we'll try to remember that, see if we can do better with a Mig-21. So I'll go to the mission editor here, and you'll see that my Mig-21 mission looks a lot like this one. I actually built the Mig-21 version first, and so you'll get to see what it looks like. I took a Libyan plane. I felt the colors fit well with the map and everything. And as I said, the Libyans, they operated at one point in their history each of those two types of planes. So this one has the UB-32M rocket pods with high explosive rockets. They're a bit smaller than the ones that were on the Mirage, and as you can see, there are only 2 rocket pods on this, but I guess I compensated with more air-to-air missiles with the R60Ms. And I do have a centerline fuel tank because the Mig-21 doesn't have all that much fuel. But it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to take off like I did earlier. I'm going to do like a little loop along the mountains here. I'll spot my smoke, try to find the helicopters, shoot them down, and then follow these mountains here all the way to final and then land. That's the plan. So before I do that, I'm just going to go to remove my... There we go. I'm just going to clear because for the Mig-21 I just went with some of the controls in game. I don't have like a profile created for the plane yet. I might do it eventually because there are a few things I might want to have on certain extra buttons, and usually helps to have the profile for that. But it works well. I've done quite a few things with it, and so that's what we'll do now. So let's go. I won't need to save because I've done it before. So you can see here the only difference in the briefing is your Libyan Mig-21 instead of Mirage F1. It's really the same. So now it's loading the Mig-21, and so yes, we're going to use our R60Ms first on the helicopters. And so what I'll do is I'll just check here. I did load the English cockpit, makes it a lot easier. But as you can see, I'm on infrared and air. On the one position I can fire my air-to-air missiles, so that's pretty good. I always like to unlock this before takeoff. Sometimes I forget and it's a lot of fiddling around. I think I do have a button on the stick to do it. But there we go. I'm going to also arm my gun because sometimes I forget that, and we're probably going to use it in the ground attack. And then you're going to see what I was saying earlier about the taxiing with differential braking. So it starts going to the right. If I use my brakes like this, turn it like that, and you really have to turn because in one of my earlier practices I got stuck in the sort of a grassy sand there. I couldn't move afterwards. So you gotta stay on pavement with the Mig-21. If I put full rudder left, you can see that it's turning just aerodynamically, but it doesn't want to follow the line, so I have to help it with my brakes. Okay, so I'll have to straighten it out like I did earlier. I'm gonna remove my labels, and so you can see what the plane looks like. Got my flaps down. I got a setup here for the flaps. The gear is there. So let's just straighten it out and get this thing airborne. At this point I don't need the brakes to turn, I just use my rudder, and we check for the speed, getting to about 300. Let's pull her up. gear up. Boom, boom, boom. That means they're in. Flaps are up. Give it a bit of trim. There we go, like that. Kilometers per hour. And if we look at our compass there, moving around. See the smoke in the distance. Now in the Mirage I had like a pretty decent radar. This one I've used it against like C-130s that were flying fairly high. Could do pretty well with that. But against low flying helicopters I'm probably gonna just rely on the infrared locating the enemy for me. Kind of a cool plane, and as you can see the camo fits really well with this environment. I remember about a year ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, I had tried this plane as a free trial, and I didn't fly it for even the 2-week trial period before deleting it. And this time I've sort of grown to like it. It's still not a super modern thing, but it does what it has to do. In all fairness, I have to say when I tried the mission earlier, I did actually better with the Mig-21 than the Mirage F1, so we'll see if it's going to be a draw or if it's still going to be on top this time, but give it gas. You can see the gas going down when I'm full afterburner. Trying to spot those helicopters flying around the target. Ah, there's one. Got a lock. Firing a missile. Fox 2. Oh yeah, that went well. Other helicopters there. Where is it hiding? Gonna try flying lower. Ah, there it is. Oh, he's got flares. Trying guns. Oh, shit, I got damaged. All that for that. Yeah, I guess I was too close when I crashed into it, so my Hollywood effects killed me. That's okay. We'll try again. As you can see, the air-to-air part, certainly the Mirage has an advantage. This is good, this is good, this is set. The joys of live video. Never know what the results are going to be. Instead of shooting maybe those 2 missiles at the last one that was dropping flares, I should have tried to surprise it from the back, but as you could see, it was very tough spotting it in the first place, so sort of went for broke. Alright, so let's go with that. Let's get the lock off of this. There we go. Come on, get up. Gear coming up. Flaps up. Pointed my nose to the north, like as if I wanted to come back to base instead of go to the targets. Yeah. Gotta look at the valley, not to the north. It's nice sightseeing. Since we've done that already, I'm gonna try to make it go a bit faster. There we go. Got our smoke in the distance there. Okay, so gun is arm, I'm on infrared, I've got station 1. That should work. Can't do fast forward in real life, but in a game, you can. Ah, there's one. Box 2, let's try and see if we surprise them this time. Yeah. Now where is his buddy? Is it behind him? Is it in front of him? There's the other one. Let's try to sneak behind him. Hard to sneak behind him because I'm not gonna shoot too close this time. He was turning, guess he saw us, so I couldn't really sneak up on him. Oh, I'm getting shot at from the ground. there. Okay, I think it's gonna be time to cheat a little bit. Let's go F10. Okay, now he's south of me. Okay. There he is. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna get to do some air to ground. So I'm gonna move my selector here to the 8th position because I want to shoot salvos of 8 rockets. I'm gonna switch from air to the ground setting here. Go try to line up with our column of vehicles. Give it some speed. How are we doing on fuel? All that chopper hunt. Myself a little bit of distance. Let's turn this around. Easy does it. There we go. Waiting for my little light. There it is. Got some infantry, but I think I might have missed the trucks. Might have like one more salvo left. We can do this. We can do this. Ooh, I am getting shot at. What's the damage? Few holes. Since the goal here is to have fun, I'm gonna try to go shoot at that guy that shot me. That could mean the end of me, or it could mean sweet revenge. Let's get through this cloud layer. Yeah, he's on fire. Boom. I don't know how many bullets I have left, but I'm gonna try to go get his buddy. I don't know if I still have bullets. We'll see if I can get one more gun pass and then we'll head home. We've pushed our luck far enough, but I did empty all my ammunition with the F1, so I guess I can empty the whole thing with the Mig. There are some vehicles or things there left. This guy there. There we go. And the plane's not super stable when I try to recover, so I'm just gonna head home at this point. Pretty decent ground attack run though. For a plane originally designed as a fighter, it does okay. Yeah, it wants to turn left, and of course there's no trim left and right in the Mig-21. So that means I have a little bit of damage on my control surfaces. Got 1,000 of fuel. Heading 020 towards the base. See how many bullets I had left. Not that many, but would have been enough for another pass. Oh yeah, just remember, boring parts can be fast forwarded. It's a simulation, but it's also a game. Boring parts, fast forward. There's the runway. Let's slow it down a bit. Air brake out. Let's call the tower.
Colt 1-1, inbound.
It's gonna take a second time.
Colt 1-1, inbound.
A third time.
Colt 1-1, inbound.
Maybe my radio was damaged, I don't know. Bringing the gear down. It is down. Gonna go full flaps. I'm falling like a rock. The full flaps was a bit too early, so that is one to forget, I guess. Oh well, so let's see how we did on the ground. There were like 2 vehicles left, so I did better this time with the Mig-21. But as you could see, I got a little bit of difficulty finding the helicopters because I didn't really use the radar. It doesn't work all that well for helicopters. And I crashed on landing. So, pretty lame. Now the funny thing is that I did the whole mission completely the first time I tried it with both planes, and I'm probably still gonna have to test it some more. But as you can see, I'm still a noob in both of these aircraft. Still hope you enjoyed the live.